out the teeth, that final teeth, Melly. Arrgh. That's right, everyone. It's finals time. I'm joined again by Melly, who's in a fighting mood. Fight me, Melly. Box. Box. No, didn't work. Anyway, welcome everybody once again. It is the finals. It's ready for a big finals series. We're in for it. We've got 5 teams left. And a bit of an upset because I'm not there, of course. But, well, that's the way how it goes. Don't mind me and my dog. Anyway, let's get it started. First of all, as we know, the top 5, Jabroni's finished on top. Well done. Get $50 back. And then it followed by Stiff, Kenner, Sugar Daddies, Gods of Olympus sneaked into 5th spot on points 4. So yes, Coley, points 4 do matter. 6th was Ass Kickers United. 7th was I'm Rolling. 8th was No Dumplings. 9th, Maltese Falcons, bottom almost all year and finished off the bottom. And Seek and Destroy finished bottom of the ladder after the regular season, of course, because, there you go, Melly, you know that now. Because this week's rounds, as we know, it all matters for ladder position. Not that ladder position really matters unless we all decide to do some kind of lottery system for the draft, but we'll decide that later. I reckon it'll be good, it'll be fun. I've got a draft predictor we can use. Anyway, so yeah, let's get it started. This week it's Renegades versus Rangers in the qualifying final. The elimination final is Sugar Daddies versus Gods of Olympus. The other minor qualifying final is I'm Rolling versus No Dumplings. And the minor elimination final, the battle for the wooden spoon, is Maltese Falcon versus Seek and Destroy. And as you can see, Melly's gone already. See you later, Melly. Let's get started though. Renegades versus Rangers Anonymous. Renegades finished on 2nd on the ladder with 12 wins, 4 points, 6,089. They're projected this week for 315. They played Rangers Anonymous, who finished 3rd on the ladder, 4 points, 6 out of 57. So not far behind, but they only have the 12 wins. They're projected for 322. So let's get started with Renegades team. Haven't really changed their team much from last week. It wasn't pretty good. They did lose, so they maybe want to make a little bit of a change. But if I look at it right now, most of it probably stay the same. Tim Member at full forward against Carlton. Josh Kenny at half forward against Fremantle. Probably stayed where it is against Freo. He's kept Jackson Trengove at utility. Trengove almost got 190 odd points last week. Had a great game. Got heaps of clearances. I think he got 18 possessions, or 18 hitouts and 15 clearances. So Trengove, although he's up against Sydney this week, so whether he has another big game, well, Matty Crouch is in the midfield with Jordan Lewis though, but they both had pretty good games last week. Big Mummy's back in the ruck against Gold Coast. Zach Merritt at halfback. Zach Merritt does the job every single week. Sam Gray is tackler against Sydney. I don't know what the weather is like, but Sydney's always a tackling spot. And he's got Lukey Hodges interchange. So he has got a few to choose from this week. No Stephen Martin, of course, but Brandon Ellis is available in the midfield against Collingwood Friday night. Michael Walters against West Coast is available, as is Rory Lobb against Gold Coast. Sean Grigg also in the midfield. Daniel Wells could be the big one here. Daniel Wells might make an appearance in the midfield. He's been pretty good at it, getting lots of kicks. The other option is obviously Shane Kirsten is playing. He's up against Essendon. He might get a few goals this week. Do you switch away from the Membry Josh Kennedy game? Who knows? Or Josh Kennedy forward line. But Kirsten is an option. And Daniel Rich has been in form the last 2 weeks. Found a little bit of form. He's against Adelaide away. But Daniel Rich is there. So that's his team projected for 315. Up against Rangers Anonymous projected for 322. Have been ravaged by injuries. Kenner, do your team. It's finals time. Do your team. And what I mean by that is you need to maybe find a spot for Matthew Boyd. At the full forward spot, he's got Jesse Hogan. At the moment, half forwards Toby Green. Now that will probably change. Taylor Walker against Brisbane. It might be a better option having Taylor Walker full forward, Toby Green half forward this week. That might be the better option. Utility Joel Selwood. And in the midfield, he's got Nathan Jones and Sam Mitchell, but more than likely it will be Sam Mitchell or Matthew Boyd. Mitchell against Melbourne last time, copped the tag, didn't have a good game. Nathan Jones ripped it because we didn't tag him and we let him and Vince do what they want. Remember, Vince had 75 points in the midfielder last time because that was against me. I remember that. Anyway, so Nathan Jones might come in there. Hams in the ruck has been phenomenal. He is up against Brody Grundy though. Brody Grundy has been great the last few weeks. Mick, just stir that pasta for me a little bit, thanks, mate. Cheers. Cooking pasta. Mike got the lackey. It's stuck. Beautiful. That's how I like it. Dane Zelko at halfback. and Jack Chris with the tackle. Jack Chris has been in excellent tackling form, to be honest. So he probably actually keep that gig as a tackler. And Tom Scully is the interchange. So who's he got to choose from? As I mentioned, Taylor Walker is back, so he's an option to play. The other options he's got, Kenner has got a lot of injuries, so it does make it a little bit hard. But the other options, obviously, as I said, Taylor Walker, Matty Boyd's surely got to come in. Brennan Goddard was great last week as well, and the other one is Jeff Garlett. So they're the only options he has got. Not many options. It's 3.15 to Renegades, 3.22 to Rangers. Remember, whoever wins this one will play for a grand final spot against Jacobs Jabronis. The loser will be in an elimination final next week. So this game effectively is for a second chance. My prediction, I'm going to stay, I think Renegades will win this one. I think the Rangers have got a bit of a harder matchup, and I reckon Renegades might get this one. So that's my prediction. Renegades next to play against Jabronis next week. It will stay true to form and true to ladder form. Although Rangers have been a great team all year. But anyway, that's that game. Let's move on to this one. The Elimination Final. Big game. Loser, win. It's win or go home. Simple as that. You lose, you're out. You join the rest of us on our fishing trip. So, or Mad Monday, or Mad whatever you want to call it. We're mad. Anyway, Sugar Daddies projected for 316 are up against Gods of Olympus projected for 333. 3333. I'm Coley. Oh, sorry. Is there any stats of the week this week? No, we don't know. We haven't heard from Coley yet. Is he dead? Hope not. Knock on wood, he's not. By the way, hope not. Sugar Daddies are going with this team. Actually, pretty similar lineup to last week. There are got a few options to choose from. Jeremy Cameron at full forward against Gold Coast. Brent Harvey against the Western Bulldogs at half forward. Sugar, I would change that, personally. Robbie Gray, utility against Sydney. Normally has a pretty good game against Sydney. The Bont in the midfield. Callum Ward is also in the midfield against Gold Coast. And Max Gordon is the ruck. Trelaw, halfback. And Lukey Dowhouse is the tackler. Nicky Dow is the interchange. Same team as last week. What I would change there, maybe put the Bont into utility, play Robbie Gray in the midfield. That's an option. Will Minson is another option. He's playing as well. But you'll keep Max Gordon as the ruck, obviously. Brent Harvey, I would take him out. I would probably... Motlops against Essendon. You think there'll be some goals there. So that's an option. Maybe put Motlop as the half forward this week. And leave Trelaw it is. But the reality is, you've got two players to choose from on your bench. Ravishly, bad, if that's whatever that word was I said before. Hit by injury is really bad. In fact, I reckon it's going to have a huge effect on you, and that's why I reckon you'll go home this week. Stephen Motlop is an option. Darcy Paris is an option, and obviously you got Del Santo as the interchange. So that's your team there. Could be a few changes. Whether you pay Maxi Gorn against Hawthorn as the utility and play if Minson comes in as a ruck. Interesting choice there. But that's right. You finished 4th on the ladder. 316 you projected for. You're up against 5th on the ladder. The man who just sneaked into the finals on points. The bastard. 333 projected for. That's Gods of Olympus. Gods of Olympus this week have changed their team around just a little bit. Had some disappointing performances last week. But did sneak home against Vossi, who realistically, first season jitters. We'll give you the break this season, Vossi. Pretty bad performance, but enjoy your drinking your Mad Monday. Jack Darling's a full forward this week. He is up against Freo. Jack Darling gets shots at goals. It's his conversion rate that's crap. So he could one day turn it on and kick 6. Jack Rewald against Collingwood tomorrow night, half forward. Richmond finally going to learn their lesson and leave Jack at home. I think Jack needs to stay where he is. So once again, a 4 line full of Jacks. A bit of a Jack off again. Caniglio as a utility against Gold Coast. Caniglio has been great. He's averaging 72 as a utility. He's been getting better than that, so he's been great. Still side bottom and Sam Dock in the midfield. You're not going to change that. They've been really good. Caniglio also, no Dylan Shields for Gold Coast. Caniglio could step up a bit there too. So yes, midfield, still side bottom, Sam Doherty. Great effort. They've been really good. Doherty had a great game last week. Big Goldies in the ruck against the Western Bulldogs. They might be bringing Minson in, but Magic Door is back, so whether that shares it. They are playing Essendon. Oh, no, they're not. I see ES, so I think Essendon, but it's Etihad Stadium. So Goldstein against the Doggies. Last week, I think Zach Smith even had 32 hitouts against the Dogs. So what's Goldstein going to do? Tommy Rockcliffe will be hoping for a better performance this week. He was shocking last week. This week, he's at the Adelaide Oval, so he'll be looking for a good game. And Matt Prittis as a tackler. Does he need to change those around? Play Rockcliffe as a tackler and Pritis as a halfback? Pritis is probably averaging the better halfback, but he is also the better tackler, so that's an option. The other option, obviously, is Luke Shuey on the interchange bench. He can come in, probably have a big game. In fact, going into it, I think Mick's probably the healthiest team out of all the teams left in the finals. Kurt Tippett's the only one he's really got missing. He's back in about 2 or 3 weeks, so if he makes the finals, does he risk playing Kurt Tippett? I probably wouldn't. Jack Reddens also might be available. He's on the extended interchange bench. But who's he got? He's got Drew Petrie, who can play him. Isaac Smith's an option. Josh Caddy's back from injury now. Jason Johannesson's back. Isaac Heaney kicked 5 goals last week. He's available. Brody Smith, 4 goals, sorry. Brody Smith's available as well against Brisbane. And, well, let's not worry about Magic Door. So that's the options there. So, who's going to win this one? 316 Sugar Daddies, 333 Gods of Olympus. I think Sugar Daddies, the injuries are going to hit. It's come to him at a bad time. I think Gods of Olympus are firing. They've been really great. Like last week was their worst scoring week they've had for a long time. And that they have been on fire. They've been scoring high. I think Gods of Olympus are going to win this one. Sugar's going to go home. Gods of Olympus will go on to play the loser of the Renegades versus Rangers. My prediction, Rangers. So, is it all coming together for last year's champ? Everyone around is falling behind. They've all got injuries. So, is it all going to come together for him? Yeah. He was... See what happens. He was last in round 10. He's made the finals now. So, obviously, he's on a bit of a form. It's amazing. Him and Fenwick have been the best teams coming into the finals. And Jabronis, of course. So, yeah. But, as I said, all the teams in the top 5... most of them are hit by injuries. Like Jabronis got Jacobs missing and so forth. Was he going to be back next week? We'll see what happens. I reckon, and I would like to take a bet on with anyone here. There's something here that's just pricked me. I would like to take a bet on with anyone here that the bottom 5 during this 4-week final period, so the teams on the bottom are going to outscore the teams that are on the top, the teams that finish on top. That's how I reckon that the bottom 5 is in a better game. So I reckon Dasher's got 400 last week. Fenwick's on fire. I've got Nick Nap back, and which really annoys me because having Nick Nap back means my prediction's actually higher than Jabronis, who was the highest scoring team. That's annoying. I wish Nick back was bigger. I would have made the finals if Nick was back. That's an extra 25 points or 20 points on my team. Anyway, so let's get over it now. Besides second destroying colleague, by the way, I mean me, Fenwick, and Dash will make up for I'm Roland and second destroyer who are useless. But anyway, let's go through the minor qualifying and minor elimination game. Just a real quick one. I'm Rolling plays No Dumplings. This game is going to be a good one. Projections 315 to I'm Rolling, 314 to No Dumplings. So it could be a really good game. Hawkins at full forward, Rewald at half forward, Adams at utility, Locker Hunter in the midfield with Cade Simpson. Cade Simpson's been good lately, he hasn't played him. Hickey's been on fire against Carlton as well. What's Hickey going to do? And Swallow against Western Bulldogs. Been a bit iffy lately. And Levi Greenwald's been really good again, lots of tackles. Other options, Noons. Lindsay Thomas has been really good in kicking goals. He's not playing Lindsay Thomas. Ben Cunnington's available. Rhys Stanley kicked 5 last week. Birchall had a great game last week. Hanley didn't. Chris Bain's getting lots of tackles. The other option is Chad Wingard. So, as I said, quickly going through these games. I'm Rolling projected for 315. Against No Dumplings projected for 314. The winner will play me. The loser will play the winner out of Second Destroyer Maltese Falcons. No Dumplings team. Eddie Betts against Brisbane. This could be a disaster. Disaster for Brisbane. Steve Johnson against Gold Coast. He loves playing at Metricon. Josh Kennedy after his big performance last week. 3 goals, 40 possessions. What a game for Josh Kennedy. Heath Shaw and David Mundy in the midfield. He's going with Mundy. If you played Mundy last week, we got 430. Brody Grundy, who's been great lately in the ruck. Scott Pennebury at halfback, getting 90 as a halfback. Mitch Robertson as a tackler. He's got Jack Zeebling to change. Other options. Well, Big Sandy's back, but you're not playing Sandy this week. Big Sandlands is back. Jake Stringer's there. Kieran Jack's there. Ben McAvoy's available. Jared McVeigh's available. Matty Pavlich is available. Zach Clark's available. Mitch Duncan and Justin Westhoff. So that's No Dumplings team against I'm Rolling. Who's going to win? I think No Dumplings are going to win this one. They're on fire. Unless Collie does his little voodoo magic to get back in there. So yeah, so No Dumplings will win that one. Move on to the next game. It's the minor elimination final, this one. It's Maltese Falcons projected for 325 against Second Destroyer projected for 291. Maltese Falcons are going to stick with the same lineup. Actually, they have to change, but what would they change their team really besides injuries? Jenkins and Watts in the forward line, Dangerfield utility, Gaff in the midfield, Dylan Shields is injured, so what would you do? Oh, let's bring in Trent Cotchin. Why not? Or let's bring in, I don't know, Josh Kelly or Rory Laird. Great effort, that. Tom Nichols is the ruck. Paddy Cripps, halfback. Could have met Patrick Cripps tonight, but I turned it down, by the way, because he's a Carlton player. Could have met Cripps, Suckling, Frawley, and Gibbs, but I didn't go. It was a NAB event, and I was invited, but I didn't go. Ed Kerno, tackler, and as I said, Cochin interchange. So he's got options. Cruiser, Joe Danaher kicked 3 or 4 goals last week. Sam Kerridge is available. Andrew Phillips is available. Rory Laird and Josh Kelly, as I mentioned. Then one of those will go in the midfield spot, or Trent Cotchin, obviously. Jasper Pittard could go there as well. Aaron Young's there. Jordan Rufford and Ben Brown against the Doggies. So that's his team. I would probably take Watts out of that team if I could. But anyway, he's 325. His versus second destroy projects for 291. Lowest projection this week. He was the lowest scoring team of the comp, obviously. Who's he got at full forward? He has got Mark LeCras at full forward against Fremantle. You hope he kicks a few more goals than last week when he got 0. Tom Lynch at half forward. Jack Stevens at utility. Had a shock last week. Probably have a good game this week. He's up against Ed Kerno though. Brad Ebert in the midfield with Travis Boak. Both the Port Boys against Sydney. Probably would change that if you had other options. You don't. Leuenberg in the ruck. He was great last week, but Adelaide didn't have a ruckman. Ollie Wines is the halfback. Ollie Wines was great last week. Blick Kaz against Essendon and Armitage in the interchange against Carlton. Other options? Well, Charlie Dixon. Ryan Griffin. No. He's been shocking. Sorry about that trade, Vossi, but he was useless. Ballantyne loves playing in a derby game. James Kelly against his old team, Geelong. That's an option. And obviously Shane Savage. Oh, he's probably missing again. That's a shame. And obviously you've lost Libba for the season, or possibly and Jack McRae for the season. No Dean Prestia as well, so you've had a few injuries there. So Maltese Falcons 325, Sign Destroy 291. Maltese Falcons to win this one. And just so you know, there's another game. It's Jabronis versus me. It's just a practice match, so I won't go through the teams. However, Nick Nat's back. 1 week too late, Nick. 1 week too late. If I had you last week, you would have got, maybe would have made that 60 points I needed. No, you wouldn't. Doesn't matter. Anyway, that's this week's teams. Good luck to those. As again, remember, my challenge, bottom 5 will outscore the top 5. Good luck to everyone. See yous.